samedi soir.
Okay.
Les gars disent mieux intéressé parce que eux-mêmes, ils t'ont parlé de on bail comme ça entre eux-mêmes, une famille, brother, on peut frère.
I'm going for no, no. That's good. I mean, welcome Nelson. Uh, hopefully,
Merci.
nous a souhaité pour aimer sortir des jeudi, sous ta aimer participer.
Ok.
Hmm.
N'attendez avec un peu de précaution et puis n'a gardé pour nous ça café.
Bien sûr, bien sûr.
So, qui est-ce que t'as là, Kounia?
Rémi,
I just sent my dad the link again because I don't know what Zoom he's on.
hmm.
How long we gonna... David, what's up, man?
Hi.
What do you like, David?
I'm sitting in my kitchen.
Oh, somebody told me you were going to be in the States.
Next week.
Oh,
Actually, Friday. I'm leaving Friday.
okay.
Yeah.
So, Nathan, fon tan remi pour nous commencer, monsieur.
Let me call my dad. I'll be back.
Parce que si monsieur pas fait monter, nous pas cacher tap tan ni.
No, he's got a couple qui te kamidi d'aller se relève s'il va venir n'a commencé.
OK.
Because he knows what's going on.
Bureau côté de al travail ou il a dormi.
Là, l'église mi là, une action de gaz mi, m'a joué batterie et puis Kounia me vient pour.
Oh, that's why. But, but you, on connaît nous qu'à presque, nous qu'à prendre plus que, nous qu'à prendre une heure de temps.
Oh non, nous
Non,
pas prendre net,
c'est
et pas non Zoom ça n'a pas net, non, nous là pour 9h30. I mean 9h40.
Donc, 40 minutes, ok.
Yeah, nous là pour 9h40. Because madame
Ok.
ka prendre net aujourd'hui, because this is really a recap, right? Parce que
Yeah.
tant que SL Nelson qui peut connaître qui ça n'a fait, vous comprenez?
Yeah.
So this is like a recap. We'll show you ça nous t'es supposé commencer depuis semaine passée.
Okay.
So yeah, this is more of a recap more than anything else.
Well, I guess my dad was not in the Zoom because he did. Oh shoot, I never dit.
Oh, m'de parle avec jodi a li di a neve yo te di.
Yeah, m'te côté la matin, tout.
But Italia Modeli he was in the meeting.
Gon Bacha ki fe rentre.
C'est lui-même. Depuis Bacha, c'est lui-même.
Bacha se li men.
Basha International.
Bacha International nou vle wè wè mpwe.
I
There he
think
is.
I
There
thought he
he
was
is.
driving.
Bacha.
Yeah, ma fonti Gaza. Bon, moi, 2 minutes, ma fonti Gaza, ok?
Alright, pas un problème.
Moi, ma tout qui te téléphone, ma pas écrit ma Gaza, ok?
All
Alright.
right. So, do you want us to start?
Ouais, non, non,
Yeah,
mais
no,
pas.
yeah, nou ka komanse. Nou ka komanse. So, just so I think I'm gonna end up muting everybody. And if anybody has any questions, if I can figure this out,
They can raise their hand.
you can raise your hand. But I need to first figure out how to mute everybody.
You press the mute button, see what option it gives you since you're the host. Oh, you mute yourself.
I just muted myself. All right. Well, I mean, it shouldn't be too much of a.
We can just all mute our phone.
Yeah,
So-
just if you don't mind. So again, this is more of a recap. Well, I guess for Nelson. So this is going to be the first time you're hearing this. I'm going to do it in English because it's a lot easier and it's a lot quicker for me. So don't mind me. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Let me share my screen. Here we go. Share. Do you guys see that?
Yes, I can.
Okay, let me see. Wrong one. Let me see. Let me minimize this real quick. Okay. If it were to minimize it, you cannot minimize. Okay. Can you guys still see my screen?
Not yet. I can't see it. No.
Okay. Give me a second. Oh, yeah. I had this thing up a second ago. Don't mind me. There we go.
And I know how to mute everybody if you still want to do it.
No, that's quite all right. It's not necessary. That is not the presentation that I want to give. Can you guys see my screen?
No.
Okay, give me 1 second. Control H. Let me pull this thing up. I'm sorry, guys. Let me. Okay, let me pull it up this way, and it'll tell me that I could do it on this thing for free. Oh, that was it. Huh. Okay, let's go back to the. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen again. Can you guys see my screen now?
Yeah, I see it. I see
Okay.
it. I don't know if that's the right one, but I see one.
Yeah,
Let's,
I can see.
so this thing will have, oh, from the beginning. All right. So can you guys see the slideshow?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, what we've been talking about since last year is trying to get into business with each other in order to try to build wealth collectively. What we came up with is what we see in front of us now is Honest Homes Realty. It's registered in the state of Georgia. It is actually a registered business with the Georgia State Secretary of State. We have our EIN number. We're ready to do business whenever we get the capital together to start purchasing homes and flipping and whatever it is that we decide to get into. Um, so again, it adopted the logo of investing in our future together. So this is supposed to be a collaborative thing where we all have the same equal amount of input, and we're going to start initially based on how much capital we raise initially. It's going to be from single family homes to multi-family commercial properties, meaning you could start from, like it says, a single family home to 100, 2, 3, 400 unit apartments, which is considered commercial. I would like for this to be a collaborative investment opportunity, meaning you don't just put money into it, but you also participate. Like you have work to do, just like I have work to do, and we're all going to be doing our part in order to make sure that everybody understands, what it is that's going on with your money. Because I'm a big believer in you don't just put money into something and just kind of forget about it. You have to understand, you have to participate, and see what risks are involved, what rewards are involved, and so we could move forward. Because I don't think without everybody's participation, this thing can be successful. Once we do get properties going, and we're going to implement a professional property management to ensure the proper returns, to ensure this could mean in the beginning, we hire a property management company. Once we start getting the hang of what it is that we're doing, we can see if we can actually create our own property management company to try to recoup that money in-house so we don't have to keep spending that money out. Um, Again, our mission is to empower us as investors to participate in the scalable high return opportunities. And the way we do that is through research. Everybody has to do research. Everybody has to participate because one person may miss something that another one don't see, right? So if we all work together, and we'll make the best decision because it's going to be a collaborative thing. So foster collaboration and informed decision making. Again, that goes through the research, and we're going to build a portfolio that spans diverse, lucrative markets. And that simply means we're going to be looking at the markets as a whole. We're not gonna be bogged down at looking at one particular market, whether it be single family, whether it be the small commercial. We're gonna try to look at the best of what we can do with the funds that we have available, because that's gonna be the biggest hang up. The less money you have, the less opportunities you have. The more money you have, obviously, the inverse is correct. So what we're going to focus is we're going to focus on target investment areas. We're going to look for areas that have, that has growth. Growth meaning, are there a lot of people moving into the area? Are there companies moving into that area, creating jobs? Where are people leaving, and where are they moving to? Because we don't want to be in the markets that the people are leaving, because the home prices may be favorable for us to be able to get something. But if areas on a decline, we don't want to invest in these markets, right? So we're going to look at small to mid-sized multi-property units. We're going to look at, again, commercial multi-property units. The market strategy is focused on high potential markets identified through investor input. Again, you guys are the investors. I'm one of the investors. So everybody needs to have a voice, and everybody needs to voice their opinions, voice what you learn, because I don't know about New Jersey's market. I don't know about Florida's market. I don't know about New York's market. So this is where all of us come in, okay, this is what's going on in my market. This is what's going on, and then we're going to make the best decision possible. We're going to prioritize stability, growth potential, and community impact. Again, that just simply means, where are people leaving? Where are they moving to? Any questions?
Keep going.
No, nothing so far.
Okay, so
Hi guys.
Josie's here, and she just said hi.
I have a question.
So again,
Jackie, Nelson has a question.
what's that?
Nelson.
Go ahead, Nelson.
So at a certain point, yeah, you said you don't know the market in New Jersey and New York, and I think you only know market in Georgia. So
Correct.
at a certain point, are you going to need people to try to get the real estate license in their state that they're living?
Not necessarily get your real estate license, right? So what you can do is you can work with people yourself. So you being the investor in this particular endeavor, you need to learn your market, whether that's you getting a real estate license, whether that's you having conversations with people, whether that's you looking for things online. Because listen, the internet is a great resource to learn. You don't necessarily have to go through and get a real estate license in order to learn certain things. What we're looking for is simply this. When we look, if you find a house, if you find a property somewhere in Brooklyn, in the Bronx, in Queens, what we need to know is not just about purchasing that property. What does the area look like, right? Are there growth potentials in the market? Meaning, has rent been stabilized for the past 10 years? Is the area being gentrified to where now the you got these people coming in and raising the rent, right? So you don't want to be in a stagnated market.
So I think it would be good for you, because you do that stuff all the time. I think it would be good for you to give us a check-off list of websites that you go to and exactly what you do. When you see a property that you like, what website do you go to? What numbers are you looking for? And all the information and how you get your information. Send that to everybody, and we can kind of do our research that way.
I can certainly do that. Did everybody catch that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Did that answer your question, Nelson?
Yes.
Okay, great. So how this is going to work is we came up with an initial buy-in of $10,000 per investor. Now that per investor could mean a few things, right? If you are in a relationship, you're married, and the two of you can be one investor. The two of you will have the same, the same voice. Or each of you can become an individual investor, right? So the initial buy-in is $10,000 per investor. We're going to pool that capital to determine the type of property that we can buy, right? So depending on how much money we have, again, it will determine which market we focus on. Again, it's going to be a collaborative decision making, and you will hear me say that a lot because I really, really want you guys to be involved. And this is going to be a true democracy where, however many people decide to go in, right? We will sit down and we'll sit whether the property, whether Nelson sends a property from New York, Carmelie sends a property from Kissimmee, Ari sends one from wherever. We're gonna sit down and we're gonna do the research, right? Ali can start the research on his own, and he's gonna pass that along to us, and then we're gonna start looking. That way, we're gonna learn about the markets that we don't know, right? Because there's a lot of things that I know about Georgia that I couldn't even begin to tell you in New York or Florida. So one of the other goals is for us to learn the different markets that our partners are in, right? We will have a group discussion again where it's on a majority vote decision, right? Uh, we're going to be looking for portfolio growth. We're going to be looking to reinvest the profits to expand the holding. So because you invest 10,000 today, there's not going to be, okay, I'm going to get a return next month. I'm going to get a return in 6 months. The point of this business venture is to grow our portfolio and eventually start collecting a profit. Now, I don't know what time frame that looks like, but again, given the fact that everybody's going to be making decisions, we all will know how much money we have, what we're invested in, and what the potential gains and returns is going to be. So I want that to be very, very clear to everyone. Because you give this money now and we start looking at property, there's a lot that goes along with purchasing a property. There's a lot that goes with getting the property ready for either rental, either for flipping, or however we decide to go with each individual property. So we're not going to have one thing where we say we're going to buy and hold every property. Sometimes it may be best to buy it and flip it, right? Sometimes it may be best to buy it, sit on it for a year, and then flip it. These are all decisions that we're going to be making together. But again, we are going to use the profits that we get to expand, whether that means to fix a property, whether that means to, what I'm saying, fix it and hold it, or fix it and flip it. And we're going to be looking to diversify. Go ahead. Somebody said something? Oh, so again, the diversification to minimize risk means different markets, right? Usually that would mean you have different types of properties, single family, multifamily. In this instance, it's going to mean different markets, right? Because the funds that we have available to us is going to allow us to purchase potentially single family properties in different markets because each market is going to perform differently. Now, when we start to grow this portfolio and we start to reinvest the money into the fund, into the business, that diversification could look like buying, buying different types of properties. Again, so now more so this is for Nelson because he's coming in, but why should you partner with us? Again, it's a low entry fee of 10,000 bucks. We're going to leverage insights from diverse markets, meaning everybody's going to be doing research on their own markets. So you get to learn, you get to learn the markets that you're not in. We're going to do a democratic decisions of majority rules. We vote on everything and everything is transparent. Growth potential, there's opportunity to reinvest in compound the interest. And we're going to do hands-on learning. I will share what I have. Everybody shares. We will create a group, whether that's a text group, whether that's an email chain. We're going to create a group where we where we give real world things of what we're learning in the market that we're learning in. And how do we identify promising markets, right? Again, it's the economic growth trends, meaning are there companies moving into the area, creating jobs? The population growth, why is that area growing in population? Is it because of work? Is it because of, is it because it offers, a lower cost of living? But we look at population growth. We look at employment rates. Is the employment rate on the rise? Is it on the decline? We're going to look at rent to price ratios. Rent meaning if we buy a house for 200, 250,000, 300,000, is the rent, what is the rent in association to the mortgage? We're going to conduct feasible studies and financial projections because the numbers, we have to be in the black for everything that we do. That's the goal. Is that guaranteed? Absolutely not. But the goal is the more research you do, the more you'll be in the black rather than in the red. We're going to utilize investor insights to shortlist properties. That doesn't mean you have to figure out how to shortlist the property. That's going to be ask questions, ask people around you, ask realtors that you know, ask. And, what was that?
Somebody was talking. Go ahead, Jackie.
Yeah. So again, we're gonna be looking at. We're gonna be again. This is one of these ventures where again more than just sitting by just giving money and then just forgetting about it until okay I need my money back. This is going to be a true collaborative effort. You're going to do your research, you're going to ask questions, we're going to ask questions of each other, we're going to ask each other to do things to make sure that everybody is again compliant and understanding what it is that we're trying to do. Again, we spoke about this again. Your roles as an investor is to provide market insights for your local area, to participate in group discussions. We're going to vote on potential acquisitions. We're going to stay engaged in portfolio updates and strategy. So again, this is kind of like a scenario of what I've been talking about. Let's just say if we were to raise up to $100,000, that would allow us to acquire possibly 1 to 3 single family homes in a high growth area. Now, the reason for that is it depends on the price. We're not actually looking at a house that's just say for $250,000, right? $250,000 house. What I'm concerned about now at that point is a 20% down payment. That would mean a $250,000 house down payment is $50,000, right? Because the bank is going to ask for us to give 20%. We can't use an FHA for a business venture. It has to be at least 20%. And some banks will require 25%, but it depends on what the banks that we go through. Again, second scenario is we raise 500,000. We can get a small multifamily, 1 or 2 small multifamily units between 10 to 20 units. All right. And if let's just say scenario number 3, we were to raise $1 million.
It's only 8 o'clock.
So, Kamali, can you mute everyone? No, Kamali can mute it.
No, I'm not unless you put me as a co-host. But press where you see participant.
Hold on.
Can you help?
I'm sharing the screen. I can't really pull it up.
Well, it's only 3 bucks. You can't throw that away.
Hold on. Mr. Million, can you please mute your phone?
I got him. I muted him.
Oh.
I muted him.
Go ahead, Jack.
So again, scenario number 3, if we were to raise capital, and by raising capital, the reason I put these on here, I don't expect us to raise $1 million in the next week or 2. This applies to the growth aspect of the business, right? So today, if we were to raise up to $100,000, $100,000, we acquire 1 to 3 properties. Those properties can be fixed and flipped to raise our capital. We do that enough times, we raise enough capital to get up to 500,000. We just flip that 100,000. It may take a year, it may take 2 years. We take that 500,000. Now we acquire a small apartment complex between 10 to 20 units. We can fix that, hold that for a couple of years and, wait for it to go up in value because usually businesses do not hold apartment complexes for more than 5 years. They have a 5 year out scenario where after that they just let it go and they sell it for a profit. So these things are constantly turning around. And then once we have a close to $1 million or $1 million in profit, then we can start talking about working with the heavy hitters, 50 units, 100 units, 200 doors. So that's essentially where I would like for us to be because then you get the passive income. Then you're not concerned about vacancy rates, meaning if we have a single family home, that person moves out, you're on the hook for 100% of that mortgage. If we have 50 units, 5 people move out, that's only 10%. So that's not something that we need to worry about. So that's where I would like for us to get to, right? Where we're not concerned about 1 or 2 people moving out because it's not really going to hurt us at the bottom line. But we got a single family house, the vacancy is 100%. Once that person moves out, then we got to turn that property around pretty quickly. That's when we do the whole. The next steps, we again ready to build the portfolio, so we confirm who's participating and who's buying in, right? We share insights out about our local markets. Once we do that, we get everything situated. We join in the discussion to identify what our first opportunity is going to be. Then we vote and we grow it. I mean, it's really that simple because without the equity, there's really nothing that we can do, right? So that's essentially the next steps that we have. Are there any questions? And keep in mind, we have 6 minutes and 20 seconds left.
Oh, and if it get cut off, we can come right back.
Oh, okay. Then we'll come right back if it gets cut off. So anybody has any questions?
Is there a deadline?
So as of right now, how many people already show interest of buying in?
So everybody that's on the line outside of yourself has already committed.
Okay.
Yeah, so m'te invité Nelson avec Morel. So Nelson, depuis Nelson get toute information, c'est Morel qui gagne information parce qu'il dit frère, oui.
Okay.
So Nelson, so gagne question qu'a toujours posé Jackie, man.
Yeah, so I mean, he asked a question that I'm very interested in. So I'm gonna unmute. I'm gonna unmute them.
Okay. So, question is, I mean, it's not really a question. It's gonna be like more scenario with a question. So as of right now in the Zoom, I see there are 7 people. So 7 people, including myself, that's it. So
I have my wife here with me. She's 9.
Okay, she's 9. Okay, all right. Okay, so all right. So questions already answered itself. If all of us is if all of us is actually really interested, we already up to $90,000. And okay, now the question is, if somebody wants to invest the more than if somebody is can and able to do $10,000, is that a problem, or is it going to be something the math is going to do different way?
So, I'm sorry. Ask that question again.
If somebody, you said the buy-in is $10,000, and
minimum.
Somebody said, you know what? Yeah. So, the minimum. Okay. All right. I think that's already answered the question.
Well,
Who's winning?
17 à 3. Early.
Oh.
Early. Après, 17 à 3.
Okay. I just saw the game in the background.
Okay.
I have a question.
What's your question?
So is anyone else on this Zoom have someone else they know was supposed to join? Like Gerald, is your wife gonna join extra? Like Uncle Harry, like
Yes.
so.
No, my wife is not gonna do extra.
Okay, but Ali said his wife is going to do extra, so now we're up to 100 grand.
Yes, she wanna be extra, but after everything, Jackie, when we're done,
Mm-hmm.
we need to speak to her.
Okay.
Okay? Because she's not in a meeting right now. She's at work. But
Mm-hmm.
when I spoke to her last night, she said, okay, I'm ready to do it, but I don't know exactly nothing about it. I said, don't worry about it. Jackie or Caminate will speak to you about it whenever we
Okay,
have.
yeah. Yeah, I can
Yeah.
talk to her. I can talk to her, and Kamala can talk to her as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a deadline for people to come up with the money?
So,
Okay.
David, that's a very good question. So, before I decided to have this Zoom meeting, the money was actually due last week, right? But what I really wanted to do before collecting the money was to have this meeting with amongst us, everybody who's already had the conversation. It's good that Nelson is here. He's able to kind of see what it is that we got working on. But Nelson, to be honest with you, this is not a pitch. This was not a pitch for me to try to get anybody to invest in this venture. This is something that was already discussed, agreed
Mhm.
upon, and Jewel felt like you would be a good addition to this, but this is going to happen. You see what I'm saying? Does that make
Yeah, I
sense?
mean, Gio did mention that to me, so I know
Right.
it's not. I know that. I get that.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, we would love it if you kind of came on if you came on board. You know what I mean? And anybody else who's interested in doing it, because again, the more capital we have, the more we'll be able to do, the more returns, the better returns there'll be for everybody, right? That's the collaborative effort part of it, right? But I really wanted to have this conversation just so everybody again is on the same page in the interest of transparency, right? So David, to answer your question, we gave I think you were part of the conversation back in September when
Yeah.
we said, we gave everybody till January of this year to come up with the money, just to kind of give everybody a little bit of time. So I would say that the money is due sooner rather than later.
All right.
I don't want to give a definitive time frame only because Nelson is on the phone. If is on the call. If Nelson wasn't on the call, I would have said this money is due tomorrow.
So say someone can't come up with the money by January. Is
By
it
Jan,
yeah, by
we have less than a minute, so if it hangs up, we'll just call back in, okay? But
yeah.
when can that someone come up with the money?
Well, I don't know. I'm not speaking for myself, but but if let's say someone heard and they were interested and they couldn't come up with the money by January, is it too late for them, or will there be another opening for them to get it?
Let's put it this way, right? I think the money is due now because we want to get this venture started,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
If somebody wants to join in later, that's not necessarily going to be a bad thing, because again, that's just more equity for us to be able to do certain things. Because if we get a problem